Welcome back to Amber Radio. As we bid a gentle farewell to the moss-draped oaks of Savannah, Georgia, our train has crossed the coastal marshlands, bringing us to the historic, regal port city of Charleston, South Carolina. Here, the sultry southern heat is tempered by a rhythmic Atlantic breeze. You are standing within a kingdom of grace, where red brick streets and vibrant pastel rose whisper stories of a golden age. Take a deep, slow breath, smell the salt air mingling with the scent of aged cedar, and let Amber guide you through this living museum of the 1930s. The morning sun bathes Rainbow Row in a soft, ethereal glow. A long line of 13 historic houses standing side by side like a confectioner's palette. As we walk, you can feel the slight unevenness of the ancient cobblestones beneath your shoes, a rhythmic reminder of the centuries this street has seen. These homes are painted in shades of seashell pink, pale sun yellow, and a quiet, misty cerulean, colors that seem to shift and soften as the mist lifts off the water. The architecture here is both proud and ingenious. These are Charleston's famous single houses. Notice how they stand narrow at the street, but stretch deep into the lot, built perpendicular to the road to catch every stray breeze coming off the harbor. It's as if the houses themselves are breathing. Look up at the tiers of wrought iron balconies, as intricate as black lace against the pastel walls, casting long, delicate shadows in the early light. The tall windows are framed by crisp white shutters, their louvers angled just so to let in the morning freshness. We pause on a weathered brick stoop, the clay still holding the cool dampness of the night. I hand you a small parchment bag of Benne seed biscuits. These tiny, round crackers are studded with golden toasted sesame seeds, their aroma nutty and earthy. As you take a bite, the crisp snap echoes softly in the morning stillness. The richness of the toasted seeds melts into a blend of butter and brown sugar on your tongue, a flavor rooted in the 18th century, holding the history of this land in every crunchy, sweet bite. We linger here for a moment, simply listening to the distant cry of a seagull and the quiet awakening of the street. Leaving the colorful rows behind, we stroll toward the battery, a sturdy stone seawall built to hold back the tides of the deep blue Charleston harbor. The air here is different, sharper, carrying the spray of the Atlantic and the faint, metallic scent of the harbor. On our right, massive Greek Revival mansions stand like silent titans with their towering white columns, broad, multi-story porches, known locally as piazzas, face south to invite the ocean wind through the wooden louvers, creating shaded sanctuaries where time seems to stand still. Our lunch is served in a grand dining room where the world outside feels miles away. Sunlight streams through tall, heavy windows, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. Look up at the soaring ceilings and the ornate crown molding carved into the likeness of magnolia blossoms, so detailed you can almost imagine their scent. The centerpiece is a bowl of she-crab soup. Behold the velvety, cream-based soup, colored a pale gold. On top, mounds of snow-white crab meat sit alongside the delicate reddish-orange roe that sparkles like tiny jewels under the crystal chandelier. As Amber gently pours a splash of dry sherry into the bowl, a warm, nutty aroma rises instantly, mingling with the scent of polished mahogany and old books. You take your first spoonful. It is a masterpiece. Creamy, rich with the sweetness of the sea, and finished with the subtle, warming hum of the wine. It is as smooth as silk, a taste of southern aristocracy served in a bowl. We eat slowly, savoring the silence and the grandeur of this high-ceilinged refuge. As the afternoon light shifts into a soft, liquid amber, the shadows grow long and lean across the garden walls. I lead you through a heavy wrought iron gate that creaks with the weight of history, its hinges singing a rusty song. We step into a secret garden hidden behind high, crumbling brick walls that keep the modern world at bay. The garden architecture of 1930s Charleston is a triumph of intimacy. Brick pathways, moss-covered and soft, wind between fragrant jasmine vines and glossy-leaved magnolia trees. You can hear the trickle of a small stone fountain nearby, a sound that centers your thoughts. We find a small iron bench tucked away in a shaded corner, surrounded by the heavy, sweet perfume of blooming flowers. I bring out a plate of Huguenot Torte, still radiating a gentle warmth from the oven. The top crust is rugged and crackly, like a thin sheet of meringue encrusted with toasted pecans. As you tap it with a silver spoon, the crust shatters with a delicate sound to reveal a center that is moist, dense, and chewy, filled with fresh apples that have been slow baked with brown sugar until they are translucent and tender. The sweetness of the fruit and the crunch of the pecans, enjoyed amidst the rhythmic dripping of the fountain and the scent of jasmine, creates a moment of absolute, undisturbed peace. The world outside the walls can wait. As the sun finally dips below the horizon, the vibrant pastels of the city soften into shades of deep violet and indigo. The air turns a notch cooler, carrying the rhythmic, rhythmic sigh of the tide as it brushes against the stone seawall. We find ourselves on a grand, breezy piazza, high above the street level. The wooden floorboards beneath our feet feel solid and smooth, worn by a century of quiet footsteps. Gazing out, you can see the distant lanterns flickering to life along the harbor, their reflections dancing like golden needles on the dark, undulating water. Here, in the soft glow of candlelight that barely flickers in the salt-misted breeze, our dinner is presented, a steaming Lowcountry boil. The aroma is the first thing to greet you, a heady mix of Old Bay seasoning, sweet corn, and the savory, smoky depth of sausage. It is a humble yet hearty feast, a true soul of the coast. You reach for a fresh shrimp, feeling the warmth of the steam against your skin. As you peel it, the shell gives way with a satisfying, subtle click, revealing the firm, sweet meat seasoned with cracks of black pepper. Each bite of the tender shrimp and the buttered, golden corn is a reminder of the ocean's bounty and the slow, unhurried pace of a Charleston evening. In the deepening twilight, just as the last of the day's light vanishes, the bells of St. Michael's Church begin to toll in the distance. The sound is deep, slow, and resonant, a lullaby of time itself that vibrates through the humid air. Each chime pulls your mind further away from the bustling world, grounding you in the quiet, salt-misted night of this ancient harbor city. As the last resonance of the church bells fades into the night, let the rhythmic sigh of the Atlantic waves be your only companion. The salt-misted air of Charleston has done its work, slowing your heart and easing your mind. Take one final deep breath of the aged cedar and the cooling stone, and let yourself sink deeper into the stillness of South Carolina. But as you drift closer to the edge of sleep, remember that our journey through America's icons is only beginning. Tomorrow, as the first light peeks through the shutters, amber will take you away from the aristocratic manners of the Lowcountry to a state of golden sunshine and endless tropical shores. Imagine leaving the brick streets behind for a land where the water turns a brilliant turquoise and the air smells of lime and sea salt. There, we will walk beneath the shade of towering coconut palms, feel the fine white sand between our toes, and enjoy a cool, tart slice of key lime pie, the signature, sun-drenched treasure of the American tropics. Can you guess where we are headed next? Let your dreams carry you toward those vibrant, sun-drenched shores. For now, curl up in your warm blankets and enjoy a deep, restorative sleep here in the grace of Charleston. Good night, my dear friend.